folks? Welcome back to Held Captive Media, and today we're kind of doing something a little different. First, I just want to introduce my pals here. We got Zane and my beautiful woman, my sweet lady, my darling, who looks incredible right now. Looks right so now. Nice. My Franny, hello.
Hi.
So guys, if you've been following my journey on YouTube for a while, you know that I've been a film reviewer for a couple of years now. Ups and downs and whatnot. And in order for me to have done as well in the past as I have, I always had to be up to date on film news. I always had to know what was trending, what people wanted to listen to me talk about. And as a result, I ended up going really deep on like all these movie news websites and these like, totally ridiculous, early stories from We Got This Covered that never turns out to be true. And because of that, I thought it would be really interesting, me, like a film news expert, to kind of bring what I know to you guys and just get your genuine reactions as like people who are film fans, but not necessarily super deep on what's coming in the next couple of months and even year. So that's kind of the goal here. We just want to talk about movie news. We don't want any drama. We're not like a news organization. We're just a couple of friends gossiping and talking some shit. Now, Zane, what is our first topic for today?
So our first topic today, we've got this article from Vanity. Oh. Fucked it up right out the gate. What's up?
You mean Variety?
Variety, yeah.
I was like, from Vanity?
I don't fucking know news articles. What's up?
This is exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. A new DC star is born. Lady Gaga is in early negotiations to join Joker Folie à Deux as Joker's partner in madness, Harley Quinn, for what would be a musical sequel to director Todd Phillips' 2019 blockbuster. Speculation that Harley Quinn would appear in the movie first bubbled to the surface after Phillips posted the cover of the screenplay to Instagram on June 7th. The subtitle Folie à Deux refers to the shared delusional disorder, and Joker's only real companion, other than Batman anyway, has been Quinn, a character first created for Batman the Animated Series in the early 1990s.
Sorry. Anyway, guys, so let me just break down what he said. A little bit ago, back in 2019, one of the best years for film like ever, this little picture came out, this little indie picture that made, $1 billion at the box office called Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, came out. And it was never intended to be a sequel. It was supposed to start this black label series of independent DC films that are not connected to other universes. And originally, it was slated to have Martin Scorsese as the director, and a main actor being Leonardo DiCaprio. Obviously, it's evolved since, and Joaquin Phoenix literally won Best Actor at the Academy Awards, as well as this making $1 billion. So what is Warner Brothers going to do? Oh, we said we wouldn't make a sequel. Bitch, they made a sequel. And in this sequel, they have decided to, in my opinion, cast from cosplay hell Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Now, here's the thing. I love Lady Gaga as an actor and a singer. I loved A Star Is Born. I really, really actually liked her in House of Gucci, even though that movie is just like a total fucking mess. And Jared Leto should be embarrassed. Regardless, she's somebody who I think is so on the nose that this sounds terrible. But as it's been shown, the movie's basically, as far as we know, going to be these two have psychotic delusions, and during these delusions, they break out into song. That sounds a lot different than the first Joker movie, but whatever. Franny, what do you think of this news?
I think it sounds awesome. I'm excited for it. I don't even care. I'm gonna see this one, even if I have to go without you.
You just want Joaquin and Lady Gaga to sing like "Shallow," but as Joker and Harley Quinn.
I think it's gonna be fun. I like it.
Man.
I think Lady Gaga can act. I didn't see A Star Is Born, but I've heard she did good in it, and I've wanted to see that one. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be good. I think she's got the right look for it.
And you saw her in American Horror Story.
I was going to say, aren't you a big American Horror Story fan?
Yeah, I saw her in American Horror Story. Like, she can act, and she can do, like, serious roles, but I don't know how serious they're going to, like... I mean, I guess they are going to do it pretty damn serious.
Or are they? Right?
Or are
they? And that's for me where the question comes in. 1 second, Zane. We'll get to your thoughts because I know exactly where you're going.
I hope they do it serious.
And it rhymes with Paul Genie. Just kidding. We were talking about Paul Dini before the show. He was very excited to write it on the board. But so I think this movie could totally work. But they have to walk such a fucked up line, because the first Joker movie is essentially Taxi Driver and the comedian put together. And for that, I didn't even like the movie that much. I felt like it was dreary and kind of, redundant. It had done a lot of things that other movies had done before, like quite literally stealing scenes. And now it's like, oh, we're going to do like West Side Story, but with Joker and Harley. And if they play off the delusions well enough and the music is well made enough, obviously I can't tell you whether the movie's going to be good or not, because so many movies have come out, like Lego Movie, and you just expected them to suck really hard, and they're actually quite great. So I'm going to give Todd Phillips a chance here. The Hangover films are incredible. Joker looked really great, even though I felt like it was the same thing. So we'll see. Now, Zane, you hear this news. What do you think about all this? And just in general, are you hyped for Joker 2? Did you see Joker 1 and did you like it?
So from what you said about the Lego movie, the Lego Batman is probably one of my favorite Batman movies.
Dude, it's so great.
Didn't we all see it together?
I think
no, we saw the Lego movie together.
We saw the Lego movie together,
Okay.
but I did end up seeing Lego Batman later on, and that is just
I have
so
it on
good.
Blu-ray. I don't give a fuck.
It's such a good movie.
Michael Cera's Robin is cute as shit. I don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah, the kids at the orphanage call me Dick. Well, kids can be mean. Like, I love that. It's so good.
Is
But
that
no,
what you want from your Joker 2? Do you want it to be like tongue in cheek, or
So I'm on the fence. I'm like, I don't know if doing it as a musical, especially when you start to bring Harley Quinn in there, there's already so much drama that's been going on where people have finally realized, like, oh, it's no longer cute to be like, talk about like, oh, she's the Harley to my Joker. Like, no, Joker's an awful human being. Like, let's talk about the fact that he's a literal fucking monster.
Yeah, guys, just a quick little recommendation from me. And I don't know if you've even seen this. The Harley Quinn animated series is the best current depiction
so fucking good
of that relationship, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I love her and Poison Ivy in that show. Mwah.
So good. The whole show's great.
Yeah. But no, so like, it's one of those things where I think that if they try to do it too dark, the backlash is going to be ridiculous. So
Well, they didn't give a fuck with that first Joker movie. There were people who were like, you're basically making Incel the power anthem of films.
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's
fair.
I think it's the opposite. I think if they go too light, people won't like it.
I honestly, I cannot tell you how to walk this line, because if somebody was like, pitch a Joker 2 movie to me, I think somewhere
Pitch a
in
Joker
like,
2 musical.
like, that's where I'm at. Like, a musical
Right.
was the last, like, when
It's
I
not-
read in the article.
It just seems to me like Todd Phillips was like, okay, they're going to make, like, I don't know for sure. Maybe his vision is incredible for this. But for me, it was like, they're like saying, okay, you need to make a second Joker movie. He's like, I'll just make whatever the fuck I want. Let's make Mad Love with music and Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga.
Can Joaquin Phoenix sing? Do we know?
Yes, he
Okay,
can.
that's good.
He's not like the best singer in the world,
But I mean, Lady
he'll
Gaga
totally
can
pull this
sing,
off.
so.
Also, like, the other part of the story that I kind of find a lot of problems with is, how are they going to make me believe that this incelled, not very clever or like over domineering Joker, this basic like man child from the first movie, he's not the cynical smart Joker we know from the comic books. How is he going to swoon and win over Harleen Quinzel, regardless of her mental illness? I mean, like, that's kind of the most negative part of the first movie, and it seems like we're already on a bad foot with the second one by being like, yeah, someone like Lady Gaga, a goddess amongst us, will fall for
Well-
someone fucking psychotic like Joker.
Well, towards the end, he starts getting notoriety and like.
That's true, and there is rumors with this movie that there's another person pretending to be Joker, like taking credit for it, and the rumor is that it's Willem Dafoe. Not verified, but there is a rumor that there's a second Joker in this movie, and it plays onto that folie à deux like tagline. And I would like to see that, but I'm also just like, if we're just gonna kill off Joaquin's Joker, why are we making the sequel? Like, if you're just gonna make it a different Joker now, why are we even bothering with calling it Joker 2 just to make money? Like, silly. Yeah.
Every time I hear the subtitle name, I just think of the Fall Out Boy album where they had all of the features.
Yeah. Is that the one with is that the one with American Sweethearts?
I think so. I know that $20 Nosebleed is on it because that's a fucking
$20. Yep, that's the one. American Sweethearts. Yeah, and I don't care, and I don't care about this movie, guys. Do you have anything else you guys wanted to add?
No.
Back around to the guys. Guys, if you have thoughts on Joker 2 and like you think that we're just like totally wrong and you're super hyped for this, or you're hearing this and you're like, well, I didn't like the first one, maybe I'll like this one. Whatever your thoughts are, leave in the comments below. Let us know what you think about this story. Let us know if there's a story that you want us to cover. Just inform us. Let us know. And make sure to like and subscribe. Zane, what's our second topic today?
So we're talking about what the entire rest of the internet's talking about. This is another article coming from Variety. Ryan Gosling makes for the perfect Ken doll in Warner Bros. Latest look at Greta Gerwig's Barbie, which stars Margot Robbie in the title role. The studio has debuted a striking photo of Gosling's Ken sporting six-pack abs, bleach blonde hair, and a spray tan. The image is the second official still from Barbie to be released following a photo showing Robbie in Barbie's pink convertible.
Guys, all right. So first of all, Greta Gerwig is fucking awesome. Little Women, Lady Bird, she's an incredible director. And if she's making a Barbie movie, I'm fucking psyched for it already. But then you got this piece of man candy at 41 busting onto the scene with a full six-pack, fucking super like tan skin, bleached blonde hair, and you just know that these women are buying and men are buying tickets to Barbie just to see that baby before we even know what it's going to be about. And there is a bit of a controversy, and I'll ask you guys what you think of it, but there's a bit of a controversy going around as well, that the argument is, would they ever cast a 41-year-old woman to play Barbie versus how they cast a 41-year-old man to play Ken? I'll maybe later I'll get into how I feel about that, but I just want to know, like, off the top, Franny.
I mean, probably not, but I don't think it's a really big deal. I think Ken always felt older than Barbie. You know, he's got the house, he's got the money.
He's financially stable.
He's really taking care of her. Like, he never felt like he was supposed to be.
You're white knighting Ken right now.
If he's Ryan Gosling, yes. But yeah, no, I think a little bit of an age difference makes sense for like the Ken and Barbie role. Mm-hmm. I think I'm shocked that they cast Margot Robbie. I'm surprised they didn't go younger for Barbie, if anything.
I mean, Margot Robbie at 31 is not exactly.
I mean, she looks great.
She's not rocking crow's feet quite
for sure.
yet.
No, she looks great. She makes a great Barbie too. She looks perfect for it. They both look perfect for their roles.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And I'm excited to see, like, I have a feeling that this is going to be the Truman Show meets Life Size.
Yeah, there's both of these like actors are so fucking funny too. And you got, like, they can do serious, but they can do comedy.
And you've got the couple, like the working couple of Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig working on this movie. Literally,
that's cool.
Both of their movies in 2019 nominated for Best Picture. They're both working on a Barbie movie.
Yeah.
I am fucking super excited to see what it's going to be. Zane, what are your thoughts on Barbie so far? And do you just want to like absolutely eat sushi off of Ryan Gosling's six-pack abs?
Yes. I know I do.
My brain almost just pooped out of my ear when you said 41 for Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
God damn, I can't even look that fucking good at 26. Like, shit. Okay, like that blew my mind. I feel like I'm so shit about knowing any age in Hollywood that I couldn't even say like whether or not Hollywood would put somebody at 41.
Well, the answer is pretty definitively no. If we're being honest, it's no. Maybe like there's a universe where they could cast like a Sandra Bullock. Yeah, but not really. Like they're not going to do
even
that.
Like how old is Angelina Jolie? I just watched Eternals and I was looking at her and I'm like, she still looks like 30. Right. Yeah. And it's like she's I How does anybody have her age?
I have no idea, and I'm very afraid to just guess. So Franny can look it up real fast.
It's one of those things where, like, I just have no idea how old anybody is in Hollywood. That, like, when you said Margot Robbie was 31.
47.
47?
Jesus Christ, she looks really good for 47.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't even know what this movie is going to be about. I'm probably going to end up watching it just so that I can still exist on the internet, because already everybody's constantly talking about it. I know that there was, like, the controversy that they were talking about, like, oh, like, the Aqua song isn't going to be in it.
Yeah, and I think the reason the Aqua song's not going to be in the movie is because they're going for a really dark tone. I think that there very well could be a scene in this movie when it comes out where Ryan Gosling's going to... I think if the dolls come to life, Truman Show style, Ryan Gosling's going to pull his pants down in the mirror and see that he's dickless and scream.
You mean life-size style?
Yeah, like lifestyle. Like life-size, yeah.
You said Truman Show style.
Well, Truman Show in the sense that they don't
I love
know.
life-size.
It looks picturesque.
They have no self-awareness of their true reality.
I love life-size. I'm so glad I hope it's like
I'm so glad they're making Life Size 3 with Barbie and Ryan Gosling.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a comedy. I don't know if this is going to be a horror. I don't know if it's going to be.
It has to be.
It says rom-com, comedy rom-com.
It says rom-com.
Right,
so are they going to, like, try to just, like, make a, like, almost just a live action Barbie movie?
Listen, I don't know what kind of speculation we can make now, but I do know this: Greta Gerwig is one of the best directors working today. And I love Marriage Story, so Baumbach is, like, close for me as well. I'm excited to see it. I think it's good that a real couple is working on a rom-com, because maybe they can, influence their own relationship there within the script. But we'll just have to wait and see. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm just excited for this movie.
I'm just psyched for it. Yeah. Guys,
aesthetically alone, even if the plot sucks, it's gonna look great.
it already looks great.
All right.
Yeah. Get that cheers button, baby. Yeah. So, anyway, guys, we'll be there apparently opening day. Are you guys going to go see the Barbie movie? Are you excited for it? Do you care at all? Just let us know in the comments below if you think that this is going to be a good movie. If you think it's going to be shit. Do you think that they're ripping off our girl Tyra? Let us know. And make sure to like and subscribe. Franny, what's our next topic?
This article is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Netflix is staging a real-life Squid Game series that's billed as the biggest reality competition ever. The streamer announced a reality TV production based on its global dystopian smash hit. While the stakes won't be life or death, presumably, Squid Game, the challenge, will have 456 players competing in a series of games for the chance to win $4.56 million. Netflix claims the payout is the largest lump sum cash prize in TV history, though Fox's X Factor has previously given out recording contracts worth $5 million. And the show likewise also sports the largest competition series cast ever assembled.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I just want to get into the phenomenon that is Squid Game, right? Or Squid Games. We just looked up this fact. In under 30 days, it had 1.65 billion hours of streams. So that's gigantic. If you can get 1.6 billion hours of anything, it's honestly shocking, especially in the way new media works. And it had such a cultural impact that even in North Korea, there was a story about a kid that was sneaking a Squid Game to his friends on a USB drive. And when they were found out, them and all their families were put to death or put into entrapment camps over Squid Game. So it's had a huge cultural impact on the entire world. Everybody knows about this show, and it's just another thing that furthers more Korean cinema as well as just foreign cinema blending into, like, the American zeitgeist, us having more broad strokes in our media and having different stories to tell. And then they just completely dismissed that, and they missed the whole point, and now they're making a reality show about it. What the fuck are we doing? Are you kidding me? The whole point of the show is that this is bad. What the fuck are we doing? It's like, it's literally the most brain dead CEO move of all time. Like, let's make a show about people doing the things that were basically torturing them and we were saying was wrong in the show. What the fuck? Zane, what did you think about this nightmare of an announcement? Being the largest cash prize in game show history.
So I'm over here just, like, very confused. I'm not huge on a lot of like traditional trash TV, like the whatever.
You don't watch
game show.
VH1's Daisy of Love or Rock of Love with Bret Michaels?
But like I do end up finding myself, Netflix has done fairly well as far as their like reality TV shows have gone. I fucking love like The Circle. That's that's so much fun to watch. It's one of those things where I'm like, the drama, I'm here for it. This one where it's a competition show, I'm interested to see what they do. I'm interested to see what they do, but like you said, it is such a weird thing to literally have like this big dynamic like way of telling a story and showing like, hey, we're gonna teach a moral, and then everybody just going like
It'd be like if they made a Batman movie where Batman shoots and kills people with guns and then stops fighting Superman because their mother has the same name. They don't understand the source material. Squid Game is not a fun time. You shouldn't want to participate in it. It's bad.
It was always bound to happen. I mean,
of course,
second they made
Mr. Beast literally already did this. Franny, what are your thoughts on this? Since you're already digging in.
I mean, it was gonna happen anyway. Yeah, they missed the point, but 90% of the people that watch this show probably missed the point too. So
damn, that's not a lot of faith in people.
Honestly,
what I think happened, they probably saw everything that went down with the Mr. Beast stuff, and they were like, "Well, we got to cash in on this."
I don't think that's it at all. If you want if they were actually aware enough about the Mr. Beast thing, I feel like there would be a lot more lawsuits involved. I think that they just boiled down to having a conversation. What can we do that'll get people to subscribe to Netflix since we're dying a horrible death right now? And they're like, well, we can put out Stranger Things. It's like, all right, that's working. What if we did Squid Game, but this time it's real? Yeah. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
But fuck, are you going to watch it, though?
Absolutely, I'm going to fucking watch it.
You're going to watch it?
Yeah.
I mean, probably. It might be just something I put on in the background.
And, all right, second question. Would you do the reality show if they asked you to?
No, because I know I'm going to lose.
Absolutely. I would so be down for that shit.
Fun fact, Zane and I like almost got on a reality show one time, and then we ended up not being able to go to it, but they were scheduling like this one reality show where you had to like stand on like a ledge and then it slowly gets smaller and smaller or some shit. Do you remember that? And Zane and I like applied for it and we just couldn't do it.
We got in on so many weird little things that we were just like, okay, yeah, but we didn't think they'd actually call us back. So we just...
It was like a message. We're like, can you make it this day? And we're like, no, because we don't want to do that at all. Should have done it. It would have been good for the clout. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll be on that one MTV show, Ghosted, for reasons unknown. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add to this? I feel like, yes, they missed the point, but it won't matter because this is going to be a smash hit.
Yeah, everybody's going to watch this.
People are going to be losing their fucking mind over this. It's going to be the new fucking Survivor.
When is it coming out?
There's no official date yet, but it could be, I mean, once they announce a reality show, we're talking about the bare minimums of production.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had never even heard about this story because I think right as soon as it dropped, they also announced that season two had been greenlit, and the director like put out a message about like, hey, thank you. This has been a passion project of mine for a long time. So this kind of got completely buried for me.
I have no gripes with the original Squid Game. I'm very excited for season 2. I hope that they start showing Squid, because this is supposed to be happening in countries all over the planet. I hope that they show Squid Game in the United States, Squid Game in France, in different time periods, because this has been happening for many years. You can give us so many elseword stories with the Squid Game series, or you can continue on that same track that you started from the first one. There's no way but up for that series if they get good writers. There's plenty of ways down with the reality show. But anyway, guys, anything else you guys wanted to add to this? Guys, let us know. Would you compete in the Squid Games? Do you want to compete in the real Squid Games some days? And let us know your comments down below. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, Fran, what do we got next?
This article comes from Deadline. It was revealed in the Room Animation Festival Annecy. I think I pronounced that right.
I think it's Annecy or something like that. Yeah.
and later on social media that Rushmore star Jason Schwartzman will lend his voice to the Spot, a new villain in both Across the Spider-Verse, which hits theaters on June 2nd, 2023, and its follow-up Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which opens on March 29th, 2024. That's crazy that they have both dates planned already. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that
That's
these
nuts.
films, my guess is that these movies are going to be really tightly connected.
You don't see that a lot.
No, and I think that's why. I think this is an Infinity War Endgame kind of situation where they're really connected, because I believe it's just going to be a trilogy and then it'll be done. Anyway, guys, first of all, let's talk about Into the Spider-Verse, all right? First animated comic book film to win Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards. Obviously was like a huge lift up for Sony's Spider-Man projects overall. It's like pretty much the only critically loved Sony Spider-Man project in like forever. I mean, unless you want to count Venom as being loved. Nothing wrong with Venom, but I'm not trying to shit on Venom. I'm just saying critics were very mixed. But Into the Spider-Verse was pretty overall beloved. And now they have this character where his superpower, and Zane will get into this because he's a big comic nerd, his superpower is that he creates portals to other dimensions with the spots on his body. Is there a better choice for a villain in a movie about Spider-Man going to alternate universes? I don't think so. Also, at CinemaCon, they did show the first 10 minutes of this movie to people or something like that, the first 5 minutes with rough editing, and there's a lot of people really praising it already. So I'm excited to see it. Also, Jorma Tacone, I believe, was cast as Vulture. Shea Wiggum, I think, or Winham, I can't remember his name, was also cast. And then we have Jason Schwartzman. I love Jason Schwartzman. He's like the only character I found funny in Funny People, oddly enough. No, I'm not trying to hate, but I'm just saying. You hear the news about Spot, oddly enough, getting in a movie at all, let alone being like one of the main villains. What are your thoughts on that, Zane, as a major Spider-Man and comic book fan in general?
So one of the things I just cannot praise the Into the Spider-Verse like universe enough. I've got a lot of family members that I'm a huge nerd, but they're like, couldn't give less of a fuck about a lot of like the comic booky stuff. Especially if you try to say like, hey, check out this animated movie. It's instantly checked out. That's like, I think my sister said that that's her favorite Spider-Man movie. She was just
it's seriously a great movie.
Yeah, she hates, like, I tried to make her watch an anime once, and she's like, you need to get out of my house.
It's crazy that, like, I don't...
It's just so...
I can't imagine this being somebody's favorite Spider-Man movie.
It's
What?
probably one of my favorite Spider-Man
It's
movies.
fine.
It's so good.
Hold on. What did you not like about it? I want you to answer that question first before we even get into the geek comic book
Spider
stuff.
Pig. Like, what the
It's
fuck?
adorable!
Why?
Dude, it's so...
It's fun. It's fine.
don't
but
like
there's
Spider-Ham?
there's way better Spider-Man movies.
I love...
Well, I mean,
Like
that's
all of
that's a
them.
matter of...
Like all of them.
You think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is better than Into the Spider-Verse?
Franny's got some hot takes on just
That has
Spider-Man
got to be
in general.
the most offensive thing I've ever fucking
I
heard.
like this movie,
Also,
but it just it's
Go back and rewatch
A little
the Raimi
goofy.
movies. I love Raimi,
Like, Spider-Man 2 is amazing.
but like
Spider-Man 2 is
especially
amazing.
the like it's very campy. I don't think they aged super well.
You should watch Spider-Man 2 again because it's great. But no,
Okay.
you're right. Not all of them were perfect. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
There's literally a
Is it
scene.
really? I don't remember it.
There's a scene where he
be
busts
honest
open
with
his,
you.
his dad's old calculator, finds a bunch of gold coins, breaks into an abandoned subway, puts the coins in the machine, and then a weird secret layer shows up. And no one remembers that from the movie because it's so chock filled with bullshit. All right? So let me just be clear. Into the Spider-Verse is definitively not the worst Spider-Man movie. I refuse.
but no.
You
It's
have
a
to. Then you
fine
know what?
movie.
You have to watch Amazing Spider-Man 2 again while we watch Into the Spider-Verse. Let's see
Yeah.
who has more fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fucking great time. No, but like
No,
I
I liked
love
Into the
I love shit
Spider-Verse,
like
but-
Spider Ham or Spider Noir. Like Nicolas Cage has become such a meme at this point. His Spider Noir was like just perfection. I love
Spider
it so
Gwen,
much.
great character,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
True.
Absolutely.
No, it had good
Peter B.
characters. I just
Parker.
like don't even see it on the same level as like a Spider-Man movie. I don't know.
This is crazy,
This is wild to me. Yeah,
This is like a different.
Guys-
this feels so different.
guys. I don't know. What
Maybe
you think
with
in
the
comments.
second movie, they'll make it like feel
No,
more like
but
a real movie.
it's so
I have to. give me a second. I have to address that. First of all, what do you mean feel more like a Spider-Man movie? The movie totally felt Spider-Man. It literally felt like a comic book with its super amazing animation style.
Exactly. I never
you got that huge,
I don't want it to feel like a comic book. I want it to feel like Spider-Man.
How do you even respond to that? Anyway, you have Swally and Post Malone's Sunflower song that blew up.
I liked that song.
And the whole soundtrack is a huge bop and people bought it like crazy.
No, it was good.
It even sold and did very well for an imaginary Christmas album for the movie sung by Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was trending on streaming on Spotify. A fake album, okay? That's how influential this movie was. And you're like, I think it was poop.
I don't think it was poop. I think it was fine.
Everything that we're like, this was an amazing thing. You're like, that was an amazing thing. Worst Spider-Man movie ever.
I don't hold it to the same level as like real Spider-Man movies.
Because it's a person running across the screen. You're like,
oh my God, to real Spider-Man movies.
What is even happening? No, one of the things that I loved,
this is derailed.
Very specifically, like the fact that they chose Spot for this is so perfect to what the Spider-Verse movies have done, because they introduce characters like Spider-Ham, like oh God, I forget her name.
Spider-Gwen.
The mech Spider Girl.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But like stuff like that, where it's like that is an obscenely deep cut for just like weird off the wall like Spider-Man stuff. The fact that they didn't sit there and they didn't have to like go in depth about like Wilson Fisk's family. It's just like, hey, Wilson Fisk has a family. Boom, Kingpin's kid is big tragic thing happened there, and we're moving on. They don't have to like sit there and hold your hand. They're not going to try to explain everything that's ever happened in comic books to you. It feels like when you pick up a comic book and you're like, I don't know who this character is, but I'll probably be able to figure out by context clues. They don't hold your hand through. It feels like a comic book.
Franny, I'm stuck on this. Franny, let's say they've been flirting a lot with the idea of Jaden Smith potentially playing a Miles Morales in a live action, right? I don't know how that's going to go post-slap, but whatever. That was originally the conversation.
He didn't slap anybody.
But man, he was like, my dad was just defending his bullshit. Listen, I don't want to talk about them. That's not what I'm getting into. Franny, if they had made the movie in live action, it was Jaden Smith. It was entirely the same story. Everything was exactly the same. How would you feel about the movie then?
I don't know. It feels like a lot to shove into a live action movie. I feel like the only way you can do like all that.
So in other words, because it was an animation, it was better.
I like this movie.
But because it's an animation, it's not a real Spider-Man movie.
It just doesn't have the same
What
feel.
A weird fucking hot take. I don't even understand
like
it.
Spider-Man.
Listen, it's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions.
Right.
But that's insane.
One of the other things that I do want to talk about, like for the Spider-Verse movies across the board, they bring in Prowler, and it's one of those things that they don't even talk about. Prowler's already in the MCU, but nobody talks about it because almost just called him Childish Gambino, because that technically Donald Glover, Donald Glover's in the MCU as Miles Morales' uncle, who becomes the Prowler. So it's like that's already set up, but just nobody talks about it. And I don't know if that's just because until Spider-Verse came out, nobody was really talking about like Miles Morales properties.
I can explain to you why, and I think you kind of nailed it. So if you guys don't even know how Miles Morales came to be, a long time ago, a viral tweet happened where people were looking for who the next Spider-Man was going to be. And a lot of fans were like, Donald Glover's nerdy and he's awesome. He should be the next Spider-Man. Yeah. And everybody fucking lost their minds. And as a result, writers like Mark Bernardin and some other writers kind of came to the conclusion, like, he wrote an article called, Why Can't Spider-Man Be Black? And it was just about like how it would totally fit with the universe and may even pay tribute better than some of the earlier renditions of the character. Mm-hmm. And that's how Miles Morales was born. And then as a result, when they're making Homecoming, they're like, well, let's just because this is the first new Spider-Man movie. People's thoughts on it at the time was Donald Glover's in this movie solely because he was almost Spider-Man and then he wasn't.
Yeah.
What they don't realize is that it was the most secretive setup of all time, and they wouldn't be able to figure it out because then Into the Spider-Verse comes out later, introduces so many people to who Prowler is, but by this point, you'd have to look in the rear view. So it's totally going to be a thing. Definitely.
I'm so excited for it, and you don't see a lot of people really talking about it. So I'm just like, that's a seed that they just kind of dropped in there, and I'm really excited to see the MCU bring that back. But we're talking about Spot in this movie, which like what an off the wall fucking character to be bringing in, but like so perfect for this.
Whoever was working on it had to be deep in the comics.
Yeah,
because if you're a Spider-Man fan or just a comic fan in general. When was the last fucking time anybody's ever mentioned Spot to you? That's not to be mean. I like Spot. I'm just saying, when does he ever come up like at all?
Yeah, it's not like a Mysterio. It's not. It's not even a Scorpion.
But the best part about that is now they can do whatever they want with the character.
Yeah.
There's no worries about like, oh, are we paying tribute to what the people expect from the character? Yeah, exactly. It's just like we're introducing this to you.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the character.
Exactly. Most people don't.
Yeah.
You're definitely in the majority.
It's you've gotta be so deep in the comics lore to even understand Spot's origin story. He was a scientist paid by Kingpin to recreate the powers of Cloak from Cloak and Dagger, which had a quick little show, so some people might know. But yeah.
And it's great. It's great because Kingpin was one of the main antagonists from the first movie. I really want to see if they're gonna tie that together. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
No.
I'm curious to see if they're going to bring Cloak and Dagger into it.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I actually don't even know where the rights lay with that per se.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Disney could very easily be addressed by Sony and Sony be like, listen, you literally use Spider-Man in your movies. we're gonna borrow Cloak and Dagger. I think there's a possibility of that, but we'll just have to wait and see. But guys, tell us what you think. Is there an obscure Spider-Man villain that you actually want in the movie or you want in a future movie? Do you think that Franny is high on cocaine because she doesn't like Into the Spider-Verse? Guys, leave it down in the comments below. We want to hear what you guys think. And make sure to like and subscribe. Zane, what's our next story?
So this article we've got from the Hollywood Reporter, which, geez, all these names that I'm going to get wrong. Jerry Seinfeld has assembled an A-list cast for his feature directorial debut, which just so happens to be about the beloved breakfast dessert pastry, Pop-Tarts. Netflix is behind Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart story, which will star Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Amy Schumer, Hugh Grant, and James Marsden.
Yeah.
James Marsden. Rounding out the cast is Jack McBrayer, Tom Lennon, Adrian Martinez, Bobby Moynihan, Max Greenfield, Christian Slater, and Sarah Cooper.
What's the deal with Pop-Tarts?
Oh,
no. Why are they frosted? No, guys, Seinfeld. What the fuck are we doing? All right, guys, so I don't know. All right. Some of the best movies you'll see are real life stories of like the competitive edge of the market, right? Like if you think of The Founder with Michael Keaton, some of the best scenes in that movie is how you see the origin of McDonald's come together, the massive buying of property and how it's more a property business versus a fast food business. This is one of those like corporate espionage stories of all these different companies that were fighting for the rights to make Pop-Tarts.
Is it really?
Yes, that's the movie.
Wow.
I didn't know this was a biopic.
Yeah, so it's a biopic. It's going to be kind of have that Ford v Ferrari vibe where it's all these people competing. It's got this A-list cast. Guys, if Barry Benson can direct this movie, it might fucking be good. How crazy is that? You might add the Pop-Tart movie to the list of weird movies that sound horrific that are kind of fucking good. Now, most people when they saw this article come out, they're like they had to elaborate because the only press release at first was Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart story, directed by Jerry Seinfeld. And they're like, what the fuck is this? So as a result, they came out with more details and everything, saying that's going to be this massive biopic. I believe in Melissa McCarthy as an actress. I think that she really, like, she's been Oscar nominated. You know, you can say what you want about her, but she really is genuinely a great performer. Christian Slater, I mean, holy shit, that dude's the best. So I'm cautiously hyped for it. Franny, are you excited or would you be more excited if it was Frosted, the Pop-Tart story?
I didn't know it was about what it's going to be about. I don't know why in my head
You
sounded
thought
like an
you thought it was
animated.
going to be like a cartoon.
I thought it was
maybe
gonna
he'd
be
have
animated.
he'd have little foil pants
I thought it was going to be like
to not show his little
right.
the
Pop-Tart
hot
penis.
dog story. What's
Fuck.
the
Are you
wiener
talking sausage party?
Sausage party.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought I was thinking like Jerry Seinfeld was about to put on like a sausage party style
Oh,
thing about
no.
like pastries.
What's
and
the
I was
deal
like,
with Frosted Pop-Tarts?
oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't think this would be anything serious, but that's crazy that it
Yeah,
is.
this
I'm
is-
kind of excited.
I know.
I didn't know there was a bunch of controversy around Pop-Tarts. Like, why is...
I mean, you have to. I mean, I don't know the details yet, obviously, because I haven't seen the movie, and there's not a lot public. That's why this movie is going to kind of be.
Yeah.
And I know that Netflix has talked in the past about doing a theatrical release window for movies. I'm curious to see if this is going to be straight to streaming or with like this big of a cast. If we're going to get this in theaters, because if so, I'm sneaking in my Pop-Tarts for the movie. This is insane. Your thoughts?
I just don't even know what to think about. Like, reading that cast list, I'm so bad with names in Hollywood. Although I know Bobby Moynihan.
Jim
Christian
Gaffigan?
Slater,
You don't know Jim Gaffigan?
I know Jim Gaffigan. I know the one comedian without controversy, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, dude is just always...
Well, it's just funny because he'd probably be the guy to make a joke about Pop-Tarts.
yeah.
And he's in the movie, so I hope he does.
Just like with that real high-pitched voice.
Because
like,
he used to say
like,
that.
I don't know. Can
He's
give
like,
me a Pop-Tart.
what was the joke? Like, a Hot Pocket's just a meat tart.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket? Yeah, I'm really. We'll see if he does that. I don't
as-
think he will, but I hope he does.
I doubt it, but if I'll buy 2 tickets if he does. I'll just like,
You're
there
like-
you go, box office. That's me.
You're
And
like
it's,
walking
It's
in-
gonna be on Netflix. I'll actually subscribe to Netflix.
You're
if I
walking in
get
with
that.
both of your 2 tickets, and you're like, all right, Lacey, see you later. Like, you don't even invite her. You're like, I'm buying 2 tickets for me.
Like, as long as Jim Gaffigan says the thing, they get these 2 tickets.
Franny, any other thoughts you wanted to add to Unfrosted the Pop-Tart story? What is... honestly, let's just go with a goofy-ass question, all right? You're stuck on an island, okay? You're stuck on a fucking island. You hear me? And you're not going anywhere. You can bring 1 box of Pop-Tarts with those little foils of them separated into 2s. You get like 8 Pop-Tarts in a box.
Yes. So I used
What
to
Pop-Tart
think...
flavor are you picking?
I actually have a hot take on this because at my work I can buy a Pop-Tart. I can buy Pop-Tarts for $1. So like...
Don't show off so
But
much.
we
This
only
is
have 3
fucked up.
flavors. We have blueberry, strawberry, and cherry. Now, out of those, cherry all the fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
But out of all the Pop-Tarts, that's hard.
Mine is disgusting. My answer is direct and
Brown
gross.
sugar cinnamon.
Nope.
I really like the brown sugar cinnamon, but I think the only one I wouldn't get sick of because like I've eaten it a couple days in a row is the cherry.
Zane, your Pop-Tart, Desert Island.
That's... Everybody always says that I have the wrong answer to my favorite Pop-Tart, but it's always blueberry. Like, everybody's always like, blueberry flavor's gross, but I fucking love it. I'm always here for the
I
blueberry.
get the blueberry one. It's not too sweet. It's good. It's got
Yeah,
like the
People
the white
really love
icing.
the wild berry,
That one's not bad,
but for me, guys,
That
I have
one's
the
good.
grossest answer.
What is it?
There's this little known Pop-Tart out in
Is
the
it
world.
the milkshake?
You have to go. No, you have to go out. You have to search for this Pop-Tart. It might even be discontinued. I don't know. I've been on a diet, if you haven't noticed. And but I haven't been eating this Pop-Tart, but I want to desperately. It was new.
Oh,
like,
I know
6
what
months
you're
ago.
gonna fucking say,
Bro, the
It's so
Boston
nasty.
cream donut Pop-Tart
What the fuck is that?
is better than anything. It's so fucking good. It's so good. I would rather eat it than a Boston cream donut. Deadass. What, you don't have any thoughts on that?
I've never even heard of this. Is
Guys,
good.
is Pop-Tarts just doing what Oreos did and just doing like weird things with their flavors?
I feel like they were doing it before Oreos, like
that's
punk
fair.
ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because I still remember all the ads for like, hey, put the Pop-Tarts in your freezer. We've got milkshake Pop-Tarts and like.
I used to fuck with the milkshake one, but I was
Bro.
never like put your Pop-Tart in the freezer type of person.
What's
younger
weird,
brother
they
always did that.
advertise all 3 now in the package. They're like, you can eat it raw, which sounds weird. You can freeze it or you can toast it. And I'm just like, so are you just telling me things I can do with this? Like, I know I can do all those things.
You can chop it up and snort it. You
it's just
can
like, if you want, you can chop it
put it
up.
on a spoon.
If you cook it under a spoon and inject it into, like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I can do whatever I want to that Pop-Tart. Don't tell me what to do. Anyway, guys, let us know in the comments if you're excited about Unfrosted, a Pop-Tart story, and whether you want your Pop-Tarts frosted or not. Let us know your thoughts on your favorite Pop-Tart, whether you thought ours were fucking horrible. And if we're missing some great gem, please tell us, and we will investigate. Guys, also make sure to like and subscribe. All right, here we go. The story. Let's do it.
We need to talk about Ezra.
All right, guys, this one comes to us from Deadline. Zaslav, who happens to be the new CEO of Warner Discovery, if you didn't know that, has made clear his desire to grow the DC universe to the MCU scale and has all the ingredients of a first foot forward in The Flash, if you don't know the Flash movie coming out, including the return of Michael Keaton's Batman, along with a reprise of Ben Affleck as Batman, with a $200 million budget and a hot director in Andy Muschietti. If you haven't seen It, he directed the It features, if you guys don't know who Andy Muschietti is. So the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO exercises well-known penchant for micromanagement by declining to greenlight the Wonder Twins movie. I don't know if you guys knew there was a Wonder Twins movie coming out, for being too niche, as well as he's made a decision that because of The Flash, Ezra Miller will no longer be working with Warner Brothers post this movie. It continues on to say, sources said even if no more allegations surface, the studio won't likely keep Miller in the Flash role in the future DC films. That would mean replacing him in the future, but there is still a $200 million investment on the line with the first film, and Warner Bros. Execs have been cringing at every new press release that Ezra is involved in. Okay, so you might be watching this, and maybe you're real small part of the minority, and you haven't heard that Ezra... Okay, so about 2 years ago, Ezra was approached by a fan. And by the way, Ezra uses they, them pronouns. We're going to do our best to stick to that. The issue with Ezra obviously has nothing to do with things like that. We want to respect people who align that way. We're not trying to be disrespectful to Ezra in that way. I'm trying to disrespect Ezra in every other way. So about 2 years ago, Ezra was in like a Petco or some shit, and a fan of him from the DC films approached him, started play fighting him. So they continued to choke this fan and nearly bring them to an unconscious state over play fighting. That was just 2 years ago. What does Warner do? They don't do anything. They don't send him into rehab or send them into rehab. They don't approach them. They don't do anything to Ezra. Much like CEOs do. They're like, well, let's just roll it under the rug. People aren't going to know about that shit. It's fine. We already shot the whole movie, so we're fucked. And then just these last few months, 2 arrests in Hawaii, both violent offenses. Now it's coming out that there's allegations of grooming someone, and that's someone now being a full-grown adult. They've literally gone missing. Nobody knows where they are. They can't find them. They're literally on the run right now.
That is...
And to top it all off, there's a protective order against Ezra in, I think it's Massachusetts. I could be wrong. Something like that. I don't know the exact state, but there's a protective order against Ezra for a 13-year-old and their parent because Ezra threatened them with a gun under their parka coat.
They have gone off the fucking deep end.
All right. So let's start with you, Zane. And we'll talk more about the Flash and everything in a little bit, because that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But first, Ezra Miller, your thoughts.
So the first thing, I had never even heard about the choking out in the Petco or whatever. The first thing that I had heard that kind of let me know that they were going off the deep end was the aftermath of the couple that they were staying with while they were in Hawaii. So basically it was they were out at a bar, got super drunk and belligerent, and then the fans.
This was in Hawaii, yeah.
Yeah, the fans who they had just met Ezra and they were like, hey, we're big fans. And Ezra was like, oh, hey, I guess they invited Ezra to stay with them.
Yeah.
And they're all out partying, acting a fool. Ezra gets belligerent, gets thrown in jail. They get them out and then take him back to their house, and then they come into the couple's room, and Ezra's acting all weird, like being super aggressive with them, and then they kick them out and start like this whole big legal battle. And that's where it all started to go downhill. And I just recently heard about like all the grooming and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Ezra, during one of those situations in Hawaii as well, Ezra actually ran on foot away from the police. I mean, we're talking about someone who is...
The Flash?
Actually, yeah. Hey, how are you going to catch the Flash, baby? He's gone! He's running and he's gone. No, but seriously, because the Flash is... a male character. Yes. Just saying. Not trying to disrespect Ezra. But back to the Ezra end of it. Ezra literally threatened to murder certain members of the Ku Klux Klan on Instagram not that long ago. I mean, there's a video of it. And like, listen, that's based. Yeah, but I'm just saying there was some seriousness, and then actually searched that area for the Ku Klux Klan in reality. We're talking about someone who is not well, who's in the public eye right now, basically destroying their whole career. Yeah. Now, Franny, what are your thoughts on the Ezra situation? It being that you've just been brought up to speed pretty much just
I mean,
now.
I didn't really know too much. I knew about the grooming. I knew there was like some allegations. Yeah, I mean, clearly he's a sick individual that needs help. It sucks that...
They are a sick individual, but yeah.
Yeah. It sucks that like their team clearly has failed them. By covering it
precisely up. Warner's in general. I mean, it's been such a fucking problem where they're like, well, we don't want to upset our movie. Our movie's coming out. We can't talk shit about Ezra in public.
Like, why the fuck is a movie more important than this person's well-being?
And even more so, the people around them.
Damn sure.
Ezra's a menace to society right now.
Yeah, for sure. It's really sad that it got to this point.
Especially with like performances, like, you know, everybody always talks about Perks of Being a Wallflower. I know you love that movie.
I love that movie.
You literally, it's one of the only Blu-rays you added to the collection. Yeah. So I know you love that movie. I love We Need to Talk About Kevin.
I just finished the Fantastic Beasts series, which iffy ending to that trilogy anyway, but like Ezra in it, it was like, oh, that's super interesting.
I think there was supposed to be 5 movies, right? I don't know if that's still happening, but yeah.
Doubt.
Well, after all this, definitely not.
Spoiler alert. Skip 5 seconds ahead. They already killed him off. So, like, his character.
No. First of all, they killed him off in the first movie the first time anyway. Yeah. So who knows? He could come back anyway. That's not spoilers because it doesn't seem to mean anything. Also, yet again, the character's male, not Ezra. Doesn't go by he, them, or his, whatever him. Pronouns. Yeah, he, him. Yeah. So, yeah, all of that's super shocking. But then you have this second story kind of attached to it as a result. Yeah. Where DC has just been getting fucked over. And Zaslav, this great new CEO who's coming in, he's throwing down his axe left and right. Like people say, the axe of Zaslav. He's been going left and right, canceling bad projects. I mean, he's literally trying to sell the CW. And if you're a fan of CW shows and you haven't been paying attention to your show and whether it's canceled or not, I have something to tell you. It's probably canceled. Yeah. Because of Zaslav. So he's making, yeah, I know, right? He's making big moves. And you're at this point now where there's this $200 million movie. And Ezra Miller doesn't just play one Flash in it, but 3. So, and it's got Michael Keaton in it as Batman, and it's the basis of what the rest, I mean, it is literally their Avengers. It's what's going to kick off the continuation of the DCEU as it goes forward, like basically revamping it.
So are they going to do Flashpoint for the 5th time?
That's what it is. It's Flashpoint. It literally is Flashpoint, basically. Yeah. You say for the 5th time, they've literally never done it in live action, but it doesn't matter.
They did it in the CW shows.
But never done it in a live action film, is what I'm saying. And this,
but I'm saying that
this is gonna fuck you up. This movie has existed since before the Flash TV show started, and it's ending before the movie comes out. So this Flashpoint film idea has been around that long.
Yeah.
So they didn't really steal it anyway, but I get what you're saying. It's been done.
Well, it's DC's big universe reset. It's a good way to bring people into the DC comics.
So it begs the question, what do? I mean, you can't have Ezra Miller go to press meetings for this movie. You can't do that. So what do you do with a $200 million movie where the main character is essentially the biggest villain right now in the public eye? And it's like, okay, it costs $200 million and it's going to kick off our entire DCEU. Do we shelve it because of the controversy? Do we put it on HBO Max where people still might get mad that they're trying to profit off of it in any way? Do they put it into theaters? Like, do they could possibly put another $150 million into the movie, reshoot the entire thing with somebody else. What would you guys do to fix this? Like, Zane, what would you do to fix this situation?
That's kind of the hardest part. It's like
literally the story that nobody's talking about, but that's where the Ezra stuff comes in for me. I'm not interested in talking about Ezra Miller's personal life other than how it affects films. This is directly affecting one of the biggest box office movies that's going to come out next year, if it will.
Because I've watched the DC universe fail so many times, and
it succeeded a couple of times. I mean, you got Aquaman did Shazam. Great, Shazam did great. Yeah. Both the first Wonder Woman did really well. The second one did really good for HBO Max numbers.
Existed. I did not like.
Listen,
the
I'm not
one.
saying I liked it either. Yeah. I'm talking about success rate, right? Like, Justice League is a fail.
I mean,
it literally failed in every way.
My last hope to get like a proper Green Arrow on the big screen.
And Zaslav announced when he took over, when Discovery... See, he's such a good CEO. He took a company like Discovery, like TLC and shit. He took that company and made it so profitable that it was able to buy Warner Brothers. So we're looking at a CEO... Like, I'm not trying to like kiss up to a CEO somewhere. I'm just saying, when we're talking about making movies, I want people making the movies that I know will make good decisions. And I'm just getting that from this vibe of him taking Discovery and literally making it Warner Brothers. So he has already announced that DC will have its own studio under Warner Brothers, like how Marvel does for Disney. So that gives me a lot of hope. And he's bringing on Todd Phillips and some other people to kind of run it before they get their Kevin Feige-like figure, which might end up being Alan Horn. I know you guys don't know who that is, but if it is, it'd be really great. But what the fuck do you do with this movie?
As far as salvaging this movie, I think
$200 million.
I don't know if there's really a way.
I think the only
if they drop like $150 million, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if they drop $150 million, they get somebody they were talking about before, like Dylan O'Brien.
That would be fun.
They reshoot what they have to. They make a new Flash. Could it make back its money? And would it even matter? Like, is it at that point just them being like, this is dead money right now, and our only option is to either throw more at it or shelve it? Because I cannot, like, I'm sure it will, knowing greed. I cannot see this movie going to theaters as it is.
If they shelve it, I don't know how they would move on. Either way,
well,
the only way
they
they're
could
going
potentially
to
just go a different direction with the DCEU.
Maybe, but yeah, it is such a like. It does feel like that's exactly what the DCEU needs, just a universe reset every time in the comics. Whenever they're like, "Oh, things have gone bad," universe reset,
and this movie,
and that's exactly what also lends itself to movies.
The movie's done. It's done. The whole movie's done. Pre, post, all of it. The whole movie's finished. It is literally sitting and waiting to be released.
I mean, they might be able to add in like pick somebody new like Dylan O'Brien.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are rooting for Grant Gustin, but I think that's a dumb idea.
Yeah, but like add that to the end or something, or maybe just do like the last like 30 minutes of the movie, do reshoots where it's like, oh, it starts with this, we kill them off, and then boom, new Flash because of universe things.
I don't know.
And it's like, that might be the most cost effective while still getting you somebody that you can use, and it's not going to become a huge thing of like, oh, you spoiled the ending, because it's like, obviously they need a new Flash.
Sometimes when they fuck with like an already made movie too much, though,
it fucking ruins it.
Yeah.
It ruins it. That's my other thing, right? So for me, there's only one way to salvage the film and make it better, and that would be just like hard reshoots, pull in a new actor, do it all again. Because if they try to Frankenstein the Michael Keaton scenes out, or one person I heard was like, what if they called it Batman Flashpoint and just mainly exercised the Michael Keaton of it all? No.
Oh.
He's probably not in the movie nearly as much as Ezra is, Being that Ezra's in it is 3 different fucking characters.
Yeah.
Franny, who would you recast as Flash? Because obviously they're not going to continue with Ezra after this movie. So who would you want to play the Flash?
I like Dylan O'Brien. That sounds like
I like
a good
Dylan
idea.
O'Brien. Dylan O'Brien
Yeah,
could be
I
cool.
fuck with that. I think that's fine.
A long time ago, before the writer's strike, Adam Brody was going to be the Flash way back in the day.
Now he's a little too old, but
Well, now he's in Shazam anyway.
Dylan O'Brien honestly just looks like he'd be a good fit too, and I think he'd be a good fit. I don't know though. Fuck, it sucks that this movie can't just come out as is.
It can. It might.
Know,
Will you go see it if it does?
Yeah, probably. Separate the art from the artist, I guess.
So it's a tall order, but yeah.
Yeah.
And there might be some people that can do that, like separate the art from the artist. I think that it's going to be a really hard sell for a lot of people, though.
Right. Like, I don't know if I can, but I don't know. I probably.
No matter what, I think that all eyes are going to be on, like, Warner's Discovery to see how they proceed with this. Because they've already got so many other things that are kind of like little fires that they're having to run through and put out. So I have been liking seeing Zaslav like go through and do.
Yeah, I mean, on a Monday, a Wonder Twins movie was announced with KJ Apa and some other person, and by Thursday, the movie was dead because Zaslav took over on Tuesday. Yeah. So, he literally fired J.J. Abrams. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He's going to do what he thinks is going to make the most money, is going to make the best content, and I think with this is the worst part is people who have seen the movie have said it's the best DC movie. How fucked is that? It has. It's in super high regard. They're referring to it as the Avengers movie that Justice League should have been. I'm just saying this from people who have said it in the industry, who have said like this movie's actually very good. So it's a little tragic, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think what Warner's is waiting to happen is I think they're not approaching it and being public about it and letting it happen because I think they're just hoping Ezra dies so they can capitalize off of it Heath Ledger style. I'm being dead serious. I know that sounds conspiratorial, but I think they're waiting out the clock a little bit.
If they drop dead, then like
I'll tell you what, Zaslav wouldn't lose any sleep, and that's fucked up. No offense to Zaz. Maybe he would, but I'm not trying to. I'm talking about from a monetary perspective.
This is fucked up. That's fucked up.
But it's true. It's true.
Well, I'm not going to sit over here and be like, I'd lose sleep if we lost Ezra at this point. They're doing bad things. Bad things are happening.
I mean, we're talking about grooming children here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no,
I know. It's fucked up.
So, like, I wouldn't be that upset to see that happen. And the way that they are just like...
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't be upset. What I am saying is, I think... to a certain extent, Warner Brothers would be very excited if that happened because they're totally fucked. They are so fucked. It's crazy. I mean, that's got to be the biggest money pit film that they can't use ever in the history of filmmaking. It's got to be. 200 million is gigantic. Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else you guys wanted to add about this story? I feel like this one's just so dour. I'm ready to move on with my life. Yeah. Unless something insane happens with Ezra or the Flash project, honestly, I'm okay with us not talking as much about this. I just want people to find him. I want them to get the help that they need. And I want them to never return to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Well, guys, this was so much fucking fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like we totally nailed all of this. If you guys have any stories that you want us to cover or any updates on the stories that we've already told, because keep in mind, we're recording this Monday, June 20th or so.
Yeah.
There could totally be updates on all of these stories by the time this uploads, but we're not trying to be the news here. We're just trying to talk about it. Thank you, Zane, so much for being here. Franny, I really think we should rewatch Into the Spider-Verse for those of you who know. Guys, make sure to like, subscribe. We love y'all. Peace out.